Let's do a little bit of conditioning for rolling and spinal flexion and mobility in general. So from lying down position, I'm going to press my elbows into the ground, engage the core so I can lift the hips up, support my hips with the hands. And then the task right now is to come down as slowly and as controlled as possible, super slow. So this requires a lot of engagement through the core as we come down, and also the ability to round it back and come down one vertebra at a time. So if we were to do this not efficiently, you would crash on your hips and come down very fast, and that's not what we want over time. So you want to really engage the core, come down one vertebra at a time. You can even come all the way up into a seat. And of course, use some soft surface underneath, a yoga mat, a blanket, a carpet, just something to protect your back as you get used to this motion. Another conditioning that I really like is this motion of engaging the core, letting the hips float up to the ceiling and then slowly come down. I'm not supporting myself on the lower back this time, just doing that with the activation of the core. I can do this from a seated position to rolling back onto the shoulders, letting the hips float up slowly and controlled and coming down. Again, a lot of activation through the core and compressing as we come down so that we can develop those muscles to activate in the roll. Next step, we're gonna go up again onto the shoulders, support ourselves with our hands. And now we're going to move the legs around in space a little bit above our head and maybe even the space behind us. And super important right away, don't put any pressure on the neck. So if you look at my head here, I can easily lift it off the ground. I'm not putting pressure on the neck. I'm on top of my shoulders, and that's where the core engagement comes in to make sure we can support ourselves there. And now try to explore the space behind you a little bit more. See if you can bring one foot down to the ground behind you. Maybe it touches, maybe it doesn't, and then switch to the other leg. It can be directly behind your head or a little bit to the side is nice as well. Just get used to being here in this position. Again, not a lot of pressure on the neck, mostly on the shoulders. Another thing you can do is straighten your arms in front of you on the ground, still engaging them, still pressing into the ground. And yeah, maybe taking the feet all the way behind us, maybe touching the ground. If it doesn't happen right away or today for you, don't worry about it. Over time, you will get more and more used to it. And whenever you need to break, simply bring yourself down as slowly and controlled as possible. Come up and shake it out for a second. Now let's evolve this a little bit more. As I go up, support myself again with the hand. I'm intentionally going to explore the spaces kind of diagonal to me. So 45 degrees to one side with both feet. See, I touch with my right foot and then my left foot. And then I can try without hands. It's obviously harder, but really valuable to be able to do that. And then the other side. You can use the hands whenever you need to, either on the hips or on the lower back, even on the ground. Again, I'm continuously pressing into my elbows. And if you want to support yourself, yeah, find that hip crease with the space between your index finger and your thumb. Again, the other side. Another angle for you to look at what I'm doing, reaching for different positions. And I will emphasize again, don't put a lot of support and pressure on the head and the neck, because eventually we will actually want to get that totally out of the way in order to roll backwards. Now take a look at this one. It's quite tricky, but once you can do it, it's really satisfying. I'm going to go up, shift my weight onto one shoulder. So that's my right shoulder. Get my head out of the way. Support myself also with my left palm on the ground and trying to find a little float, a balance. And I can come and go to the other side. So I'm going to my left, my head goes to the right, supporting myself on the left shoulder with my right hand, finding a float upwards, finding the balance, and try to save it as I come down slowly.